Hello, everyone, and welcome to the YouTube channel of BeingACCA. This is Tushita Gupta, ACCA affiliate, and in this video, we are debriefing step by step the first case study question, which is question number 16 to 20, AI company from the PM pre-September 2024 mock exam. So let's get started. First, we'll have a read of the scenario. AI company is one of the leading graphics processing unit GPU manufacturer in VLAN. Given the political unrest in the region, the board of directors is currently exploring alternatives pertaining to one of its factories located in one of the countries that has been severely affected by the regional uncertainties. Currently, there are three alternatives under consideration. The first option is full expansion of the factory. Second option is a partial expansion of the factory. And third option is the closure of the factory. Should alternative 3 be selected, there will be guaranteed proceeds from the disposal of all existing assets. Based on AI company's management team, it is expected that the total estimated net cash flow, ignoring the time value of money of alternative 1 and 2, will be subject to different states of demand, which is currently uncertain. 70% chance of high demand and 30% chance of low demand. This is summarized in the decision tree as follows. So the requirement over here asks us, which of the following options is the expected value for alternative 1, which is point B, and alternative 2, which is point C. So if we go ahead with option B, you can see there's a high demand which has a probability of 70%, which is going to give us positive 9 million. So you can use the calculator right over here. We have 0.7 0.7 multiplied by 9, and from this I need to subtract 0.3 because this is a loss of 3 million. 0.3 multiplied by 3, so this gives me 5.4. Let's see which option has 5.4. It's supposed to be option 4. Let's cross check it for the C1 also. Alternative C has a high demand probability 70%, which will give us 6 million. So if you clear this out, 0.7 needs to be multiplied with 6. And in this, you need to add, if there's a 30% chance of low demand, $2 million is what you're going to get. So $2 million multiplied by 0.3. So with this, you get 4.8, which is what we have selected. So the first answer is option 4. Moving ahead to the second question now, we have to let them know over here what is the course of action and the expected resulting value. So let's see what all are they asked, what all are the options. Decision point A, we have to select which alternative is the best one, and we have to also select the expected value which will be arising. So we have already calculated it for alternative 1 and 2. Alternative 1, we had just taken it in the previous question, 5.4 and 4.8. These are alternative 1 and 2. Now we just need to do it for the third alternative and see which one gives us the highest value. Alternative 3 is closure. As you see, this was the third option, closure of the factory. So if we go for closure, we are getting 5.5 million, which if you see is higher than both of the options. One was 5.4, second was 4.8. So 5.5 is higher than both of these. That means we are going to go ahead with alternative 3. Now, the next thing that we need to select is the expected value. Expected value, now we know that we are going to get 5.5 million out of this. So we will select 5.5 million over here. So far, it's pretty easy, this mock. Then let's move ahead. The market research company proposed to AI company that they can provide an exclusive version of a market research report with a guaranteed forecast on the state of demand at a premium price. Now you have to let them know what is the maximum amount that AI company should be willing to pay for this exclusive version of the market research report. Now you have to give your answer to the nearest 2 decimal places in millions of dollars. So this is what the requirement is. Essentially, putting it in simple words, you are required to find out the value of perfect information. So the formula that we have learned, basically, we will see what will be the expected value if we have perfect information. We will subtract from it the value which will be having without perfect information. And then the difference between the two is going to be the value of your perfect information. So first, we are going to see over here that what is the value that we will be getting if we have perfect information. So if we have a look at the scenarios, there were three scenarios essentially. The first one where you have either there can be a high demand or there can be a low demand. Now if the company tells you that you are going to be having a high demand that has 70% chances of happening, you can either make $9 million, or you can make $6 million, or you can straight away take 5.5. So you will try to maximize your chances of having whatever you can possibly have. So 70% chance is there that you are going to make $9 million. So you're going to take zero point 0.7 over here and multiply that by 9. If you have perfect information, you're going to go ahead for option B, the alternative B. Now, if you see further in the next scenario, in case there's a low demand, either you have the choice of making $3 million of loss, or you have the choice of getting a profit of $2 million, or you have the choice of taking home $5.5 million with you. So obviously you're going to choose 5.5, and you're going to take that option in the 30% of the cases. So 7.95 is the value that you will get for your perfect information. If you have perfect information, this is the amount of money that you will be able to make. Now, next we have to compare it with the decision if we do not have perfect information. Like in the previous question, we selected the third option because this has the highest expected value. So this is the option that we will be choosing if we did not have perfect information. So the difference between these two is going to give you the value of your perfect information, which is the requirement over here, which is $2.45 million. So 2.45 is what we enter, and move ahead to the next question. Now, the next question wants you to select which of the following best describes the value of imperfect information. So if you talk about how we derive the value of imperfect information, it's quite similar to the value of perfect information. Now, the difference that we are making is if we will look at the value of imperfect information, it will also consider any other decisions which we will choose, which will be lower than the value if we were having perfect information. It is not perfect, it is little bit better than what we know so far. So that means the value will be lower. If you talk about the differences, that difference will be the value of the perfect information. So let's have a read at the statements. Statement 1 says the value of imperfect information is always lower than that of value of perfect information due to the uncertainty of such information. This statement is bang on correct, because with imperfect information, you will always be able to make lesser profits. Perfect is the perfect information, right? That is going to help you maximize the amount of money that you can make. So obviously, value of imperfect information will always be lower than perfect information, because there is still some uncertainty in the imperfect information. Let's also talk about the three statements which are incorrect and why they are incorrect. Second statement reads, the value of imperfect information may or may not be lower than that of the value of perfect information, as it depends on the extent of uncertainty. Now, this is incorrect because this statement will be true that value of imperfect information will always and always be lower in value than your perfect information. This is because we are still having some sort of uncertainty. There will be some, not so perfect decisions which we will be taking with the imperfect information, which will always make the value of the imperfect information lower than the value of the perfect information. Moving to the third statement, value of imperfect information can be derived without considering the probabilities of the uncertain information. This is not correct because you've got to know what are the probabilities to be able to work out the numbers. And the fourth statement says the value of imperfect information is the minimum cost to be paid for obtaining such information to improve decision making. Now, this statement is also incorrect. Over here, you will be paying as much as you can, depending upon the benefit that you will be getting as a result of, some information which is not perfect, but still it is going to help you some manner. So the price that you will be paying for it is the maximum benefit that you are getting because of having imperfect information rather than having no information at all. So we select option A as our answer and move to the last question for this scenario. Last question says, which of the following is not a characteristic of an outcome point in decision tree? So let's have a read at the options. Occurrence of outcomes at this point is beyond the control of the decision maker. Now, when you talk about outcome points, that means you've already taken a decision and now you are having a look at your results. Similarly, when you appear for your exams, before appearing for your exam, you always have the control. You can prepare better, you can practice more. But after you have taken the decision, after you have attempted your exam, the result is not in your control. So this first statement is definitely true. Second statement says the sum of probabilities of all outcomes at each chance fork may not be necessarily equal to 1 or 100%. This is absolutely incorrect because sum of probabilities always and always has to be equal to 1 or 100%. Otherwise, you're not considering all scenarios, which is not possible. Moving to the third statement, a decision will not be made at an outcome point. This statement is true because now you've already taken the decision and now you are having a look at the results. And then the next statement says there could be one or more outcomes at an outcome point. That is absolutely correct. Outcomes can also be multiple in number. It totally depends upon what happens in reality. And outcomes can definitely be one or more. That's why this statement is also correct and hence is not our answer. So with this, we are done with the first section B question, which was AI company. I'll see you in the further videos to discuss more questions.